Hi folks, and welcome back to my Jedi Knight series of Star Wars The Old Republic. We're almost done, guys. We've got 2 planets left to go to finish up this storyline. I'm at level 44. We've got 11 hours left of double experience, and I'm wearing my sunglasses in the house. Let's do this. So, first things first is that for Mysterious World, you're going to travel to Voss. I already did that part, so I'm just going to go right over to the Holo Terminal here, and we're going to start up the opening conversation.
We are in orbit around Voss, Master Satele.
Be wary when you reach the surface. Voss is a strange world under the absolute control of a group of powerful Force users called the Mystics. The Mystics reject the idea that the Force has both a light and dark side. They claim to follow a neutral path, both in their politics and the Force. Despite their claims, I fear the Mystics have more in common with the Sith than with us.
Are you saying the Voss are servants of the dark side?
The Mystics use the visions given to them by the Force to control the lives of ordinary citizens. Like the Sith, they use their power to dominate others.
The Mystics are prophets who shape the direction of Voss society. The Emperor wants to wipe out all life in the galaxy. Hardly the same thing.
The dark side is subtle and
That is
insidious,
quite the distinction.
as you well know. The Emperor did not begin his conquest of the galaxy by declaring his true intentions.
Whatever the Emperor is up to, I'll stop him.
We haven't uncovered the Emperor's plan to destroy Voss yet, but he recently dispatched a Sith Lord named Fulminus to this system.
Lord Fulminus created the Harrowers you faced in the Emperor's fortress. Be wary.
Give me his location, and I'll take care of this.
We know Fulminus is somewhere on Voss. He's communicating with the Emperor through an encrypted communications relay. We've detected several signal scramblers outside the planet's capital city of Voss-Ka. Disable them, and we can track the comm signal to his location.
You can count on me.
If you act quickly, you should be able to disable all the scramblers before Fulminus knows what's happening. Then we can find him. May the Force be with you.
Alright guys, let's rock and ride. So, first things first, I'm going to go ahead and exit my ship, and that'll take me directly to Voss-Ka, which is the capital city, or at least the main city that we're going to deal with on Voss. Now, if you have not been with us through the video series thus far, the major developments that we are in were that the Jedi Knight and a strike team of other Jedi decided to try to take it directly to the Sith Emperor. They tried to capture him and try to bring him to the light, and this failed miserably. All of the Jedi who went after the Emperor got turned over to the dark side, with the exception of your companion, Kira Carson, and you know, you basically awake out of almost a 6-month slumbering, walking death-like, zombie-like state of having done all the Emperor's will during, this gigantic chunk of time, when you're wakened up by Master Orgus's ghost and told, hey, it's time to get back to work. So you escape, you grab a new companion, Lord Scourge, the Emperor's Wrath, and he lets you know about the Emperor's new plan, which is, of course, to go ahead and wipe out all life in the universe. Now, this is kind of huge. That is a big enough objective, and a big enough, what's the word I'm looking for? A big enough bad guy plot point, a bad guy objective to make a guy like Lord Scourge, the Emperor's Wrath, who's probably done more horrible things than we could ever count, over to our side to go and help us, take out the Emperor. So it's kind of a big deal. Anyway, from here, I'm in Voss-Ka. I'm just going to go ahead and warp straight over to the Kenla Outpost Skyhopper. And by warp, I meant take the speeder. So, welcome to Voss, by the way, guys. Unlike Belsavis and unlike some of the other planets we go to, this is one of my favorite planets. I love Voss. If they ever made a player house here, I would absolutely live here. I feel like it's all the colors of the fall all the time. So if you've ever been like on the east coast of the United States during the fall months, it looks a lot like this. It's just trees that are red and gold and dark green, and it's perfect. So this is one of my favorite planets to visit. Plus, they have that in the skyline, that gigantic, planet with the rings around it, a moon with the rings around it. Very cool stuff. All right, so where are we at? Well, right now, all the bosses that we're going to face for Voss and Corellia, or at least I should say most of the bosses we're going to face for Voss and Corellia, are our former Jedi Knight strike team companions. And our job as the Jedi Knight is to go ahead and stop the Emperor. That hasn't changed. But now we have a few more roadblocks in the way. And we learned a very painful lesson that taking the Emperor on without being properly prepared is a recipe for disaster. And not only that, he can take even the most stalwart Jedi and turn them to the dark side, if at least temporarily. Now, you've heard me talk a lot about why I feel the Jedi Knight storyline is really the canon one for the game. And really, this whole plot, if you have been with us this far, should tell you exactly why I feel that. You get a lot of interactions directly with the Emperor, and when we come to the next expansion, Bekeb, then Revan, and then finally Knights of the Fallen Empire, they all deal primarily with, by the time you get to Knights of the Fallen Empire, that deals primarily with the Emperor and a new Empire called Cool. And in there's a lot of dialogue that definitely lends itself to, saying that this particular storyline is the canon one. One of the first things they do in Knights of the Fallen Empire, and I'm sorry guys, spoilers, if you don't want the spoilers, mute for a few seconds, but one of the first things they do is they give you a companion in the shape of T7, and T7 starts off by being the Jedi Knight's companion. They'll pass him along, and he'll become the crew now of any character, that you play in the expansion. But I feel like that droid, T7 being passed along to all players, is really symbolic of all players then stepping into the role of the Outlander and becoming quote-unquote, the hero of the story. But thus far, I feel like that was the Jedi Knight's role. There's a lot of great storylines in this game, and a lot of the storylines make you very, very heroic in a lot of different ways, but none of them have you tackling and going head-to-head with the Sith Emperor in such a fashion. And that really lends me to believe that the Jedi Knight story, if they only could pick one to be canon, I really do believe it would be this one. Alright, you guys can undo that. Alright, let's click on Yield panel here. We got one more after this. Okay. So, hopefully too, by this point in the storyline, you realize that one of the major themes of the Jedi Knight is about redemption. It's a major theme that goes from the very start on Tython with Bengal Moore all the way to the final confrontation with the Emperor. The idea that, are you who you are right now, and is that unchanging, or is this something that can change? I thought Belsavis actually was a really fantastic example of the player having to make a choice about what they feel. Can people be redeemed? Do people rehabilitate, or are they always going to be condemned for the crime that they may have committed in the past? With the Jedi Knight, they kind of gloss over in a very brief sort of way that you did horrible things for the Emperor under his bidding. And once we get to the planet Rishi, they'll talk a little bit more about it. You'll get a little bit of a quest that deals with it, along with the return of a familiar face. But right now, as you face Jedi after Jedi who was part of that strike team, you kind of have to decide in the back of your brain, what do you feel about this? Because those choices will come up. And do you save this person? Do you kill this person? Do you forgive this person? All of those things are very influential on what you feel like in real life. I feel like video games a lot of times give us a window and an opportunity to examine what it is we believe about certain issues. Belsavis was a great example. What do you feel about the prison system? What do you feel about the idea of whether people can be redeemed? When you're on places like Nar Shaddaa and they're dealing with the Power Guard project, what do you feel about human experimentation? And is, the end, do they really justify the means when it comes to experimenting on people? Games, and I hope if you've been with me so far for the Jedi Knight storyline, guys, that you've taken a look at these issues, and even though these plot points come up, and it may be tempting to just make a quick, light side or dark side choice based on, what alignment you want your character to be on, but never be afraid to really just take a look at some of the deeper issues that they're, and ramifications of some of these storylines. The agent storyline, one of the reasons I love that is it's very complex and it really makes
fix on that signal. The signal's originating from a nearby cave. Fulminus must be inside.
I get the feeling this mission's about to get a whole lot harder.
Alright, so our cave that we're going to is just behind us. thankfully. That's one of the other things I actually like about Voss quite a bit. It's not as large a planet space as some of the other planets that you visit, which makes, you know, getting from point A to point B a lot easier and a lot less of a chore. So as you can see here, it's like we hit those 3 terminals, and unlike Belsavis, where, you know, you click on 3 things and then all of a sudden you gotta travel all the way across the map a few times, you know, with this it was much simpler. By the way, guys, this was one of those examples that I told you about where I used focus defense in conjunction with one of my, you know, tanking cooldowns to go ahead and get a full blast of health back up. You know, definitely a technique you can use too when you're soloing. Of course, that level up. If I'd been paying attention to how close I was to leveling up, I probably would have just let that happen and skipped using focus defense. But, c'est la vie. That's the thing about cooldowns, guys. Use them or lose them. Alright, and send Kira Carson in. Still dealing a little bit with the sleep deprivation the last few days. I really focused in on trying to get all these videos out as quickly as possible while we're on the double XP weekend. Part of that, guys, was also just to show you guys that it can be done. A lot of times when you're leveling up inside of a MMO, you know, it's really tempting to just kind of think like, man, this is just going to take way too long. You know,
Outsider,
and get intimidated
why
by the
are
whole
you
process.
here?
And I'm hoping this shows you that if you're dedicated to the craft and you've prepped up a bit, that leveling up can actually be pretty fun and pretty fast.
I came here in search of a man named Lord Fulminus.
We have the same goal. This is a problem. I am Tala Ray. You wear Jedi garb. Sith's sworn enemy. We want none of your war. I search for Fulminus. Do not interfere.
We both want the same thing. Maybe we should team up.
I seek Valen Da. He is a powerful mystic. I am sworn to protect him. 3 days ago, Valen Da left the Mystic Temple with Lord Fulminus. Neither have been seen since.
I tracked a comm signal from Lord Fulminus to here. He could be hiding deeper inside.
You wish violence upon Lord Fulminus.
Fulminus has one goal, to wipe out all life on Voss. I will do what I must to stop him.
Your actions may harm Valen Da. That must not be. Leave.
No! Get back, you foul monsters! You want to peel the flesh from our bones!
This doesn't have to end in violence.
The beasts want to feast on our innards! Kill them before they chew out our guts! Ah!
Again, another spot where BioWare kind of took the easy road out on character design here, with all the deranged Sith apprentices looking exactly alike. Not the first time we've seen that trick this late in the game. Saw the same thing on Belsavis.
Call us monsters, mad with terror.
Lord Fulminus must have done something to destroy their minds.
He may not be to blame. Many who enter the wilds go mad. Here, a holo recorder.
Welcome back, Lord Fulminus. The ritual preparations are complete. Is this Voss going to be our first test subject?
Valen Dahl is still useful to me. The same cannot be said of you.
No! Please don't! Ah! Ah! The monsters! I can see them! They're everywhere! They're all around me! No! No!
That's grim, even for a Sith Lord.
The dark side's all about Grimm. I bet the Emperor loves this guy.
There is more.
We're done here. Take me to the Shrine of Healing. The journey is long. We must go now.
This clue seems a little too convenient to have been dropped by accident.
Valendaw left the holo for me to find. Fulminus is dangerous. We must work together.
Ah, she turned around on that pretty quick.
We'll have a better chance if we team up.
The Shrine of Healing is sacred, a place of ancient power. Fulminus can cause great harm there. The journey to the shrine is arduous. I will make preparations. Here, the location of my supply camp. Meet me there. We will continue our mission.
Alright, I'm just going to be giving you guys a tiny bit of a spoiler. You may not think much of Talaray, but this woman is awesome. She's one of my favorite NPCs in the game, and you will see why. So stay tuned, guys. That's the end of Mysterious World. We're going to close this off here. Next up, we will jump in and start up with Bloody Pilgrimage. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of the stuff we put out, and I'll see you